Hello, I'm a graduate student at Rutgers School of Social Work and a clinician on the autism spectrum. I've worked with both autistic people and non-autistic people alike. I am also a radio DJ at 91.5 WDBK FM, where I host my show, Dr. Comedians, The Best Medicine, where I play inspirational music and provide advice or strange commentary. My primary experience with clinical work is at Crisis Text Line, where I've been volunteering for the past 2 years. I myself suffer from an anxiety disorder, and for the longest time, I stuck with what I knew, to feel like I wasn't making any personal progress. I didn't embrace the possibility of success as much as I dreaded the possibility of failure, and in many ways, because of this, I've held myself back. I used to hide from the world because I was afraid of feeling unsafe, whether in new relationships, new jobs, anything. And at times I just start things and then abandon them before they were finished. And as I grew older, I realized this was just a cloaked fear of failure, achieving nothing and ultimately amounting to nothing. But I've learned from friends and from Pocahontas that we have to stop trying to be safe. Here's the quote: "To be safe, we lose our chance of ever knowing what's around the river bend, waiting just around the river bend." Oh, goodness, I sound like William Shatner. Bless his heart. As people, we need to address our needs in spite of our fears. In the face of our fears, to win, we have to play, and you will lose a lot. And it might hurt a lot. But experiencing both pleasure and pain will prepare you to experience what is both good and bad in this world. And there's a lot of both. Don't forget the good and don't forget the bad. Prominently, I was afraid of opening up in fear of invalidation. I realized people's responses later in life have no relationship to the validity of my problems. And the reality is, if you have a feeling, feel it. Any feeling, feel it. You should feel it and remember that there's a reason for it. And if you don't know there really is a reason for that feeling, it still has a right to be there. And no one has a right to belittle you for your problems, no matter if they can relate to them or not, whether they can help you or not. And you know what? Somebody is going to be there to be able to help and validate you. I promise. There are some people who are going to continuously invalidate us and not accept us and not support us, and that for some people that is not going to change no matter their roles in our life. They might not be good at giving validation. They just might be a cruel person. They just might be mean. They might be toxic. They might be jealous. They might be unhappy with their own life. And either way, it's just not good for you. And as a wise person that I know once said, they don't have to be necessarily even toxic. They don't have to be a bad person. You don't have to be a good person. There doesn't need to be any blame involved. Simply that we should continue to seek out the people who recognize the validity of our experiences. But first and foremost, your number one validator is you. You. Not me, not your mom, not your dad, not your boyfriend, not your boyfriend's sister, not your uncle 60 times removed. You. There's no point in ending a search for external support either. There are always going to be people who understand the struggles you go through, even if it takes you 10 years to find that person who just gets it and, isn't going to punish you for that experience or make you feel worse than you already do. So Billy Joel's song, It's My Life, gives us a harsh lesson in reality that people come, people go. Some people will grow apart and away from you as time goes on. People will also criticize you for not living life the way they live or the way they want you to live. The harsh reality is, well, they're entitled to their opinions about anything, about you, about the world. That doesn't have to relate to who you are. And you shouldn't let it. Like, ultimately, people will project their ideas of who you are onto you to try to control you. But you don't have to be controlled. Knowing this is power that you can take back. You can remember that this person is telling you these things because you remind them of an experience that they once had. And this even sometimes goes for positive experiences. They might be projecting a positive image onto you. But ultimately, people will always be there to kick you and beat you and tell you it's fair. So tell them to beat it. Thanks, Michael Jackson. Remember, though, as Billy Joel said, they can they can speak their mind, but not on your time. Your time is very, very valuable. You don't have to be around to listen to that criticism, no matter how entitled people think they are to your time. And you have your own gifts to lend to the world. They have their own gifts. If you find that you can't resolve anything with a person that you struggle with, no matter how hard you try, no matter whether they're toxic or not, whether you're toxic, they're toxic, it doesn't even matter. Some people just don't mesh. You need to know when to draw the line and just walk away. It doesn't have to be abuse. If you're feeling uncomfortable with something somebody is saying, something somebody is doing, just, life is too short. Don't add complications to it. If you feel comfortable leaving, then leave. Uh, well, that's all I got for you today. I wanted to let you know if you have any questions, you can email me at Danielle at drcomedian.com. And my website is www.drcomedian.com. And hope to do more of these later. Feel free to reach out anytime. And remember, the risk is worth any potential reward. And you will be okay. I promise.